The question of whether animals should have legal rights is no longer just a philosophical discussion. It's a legal battle playing out in courtrooms around the world. For centuries, the law has treated animals as property, no different from a car, a house, or a piece of furniture. They have no legal standing, meaning they cannot file lawsuits, own land, or demand protections beyond what humans decide to grant them. But that long-standing approach is now being challenged by a growing movement that argues certain animals deserve to be recognized as legal persons. This idea may seem radical, but it has already gained traction in surprising ways, leading to historic court rulings and policy shifts. One of the most groundbreaking cases occurred in Argentina in 2015, when a court declared an orangutan named Sandra to be a non-human person with basic rights. The ruling stated that Sandra, who had spent years in captivity at a zoo, deserved the right to live in a more natural environment. In another case, a Colombian court granted legal personhood to a spectacled bear, preventing its forced removal from its habitat. Similar efforts have been made in the United States, where activists have fought for the rights of chimpanzees, elephants, and even dolphins. The Non-Human Rights Project, a legal advocacy group, has filed multiple lawsuits arguing that highly intelligent animals deserve to be recognized under the law. They argue that if an animal can experience pain, solve problems, form relationships, and exhibit self-awareness, it should not be treated as a mere object. Supporters of this movement believe that granting legal rights to animals is the next step in humanity's moral evolution. They compare it to past civil rights struggles, arguing that our current treatment of animals will one day be viewed as a great injustice. Slavery, women's rights, and racial discrimination were all once considered normal, but were eventually challenged and overturned. If our laws have evolved to recognize the rights of all humans, should we now extend those protections to certain animals? Opponents of this movement argue that giving animals legal personhood is not just impractical, but potentially harmful to society. They fear that if animals are granted rights, it could open the door to lawsuits against farmers, pet owners, and even medical researchers. Imagine if a chimpanzee in a research facility had the right to sue its handlers. What would that mean for scientific progress? What about pet ownership? Would giving animals rights mean people could no longer keep dogs or cats unless they consented to it? Some legal scholars worry that classifying animals as legal persons could create a legal mess that is difficult to navigate. Would the law have to determine which animals qualify for personhood and which do not? If we grant rights to chimpanzees, what about highly intelligent birds like crows and parrots? Could the legal system handle the complexities of representing animals in court? Despite these concerns, some countries are already moving toward recognizing limited legal rights for certain animals. India has declared dolphins to be non-human persons and banned their captivity in marine parks. Spain has granted protections to great apes, making it illegal to exploit them for entertainment or scientific research. New Zealand has legally recognized that animals have sentience, meaning they must be treated with consideration for their ability to feel pain and emotion. Even in the United States, cities like San Francisco have changed their legal language to refer to pet owners as guardians instead. This shift in language reflects a deeper change in how society views animals, not as possessions, but as beings with their own needs and interests. The implications of this debate go far beyond courtrooms and legal documents. For many adults balancing work, family, and personal ethics, it raises serious questions about the choices we make every day. Parents may wonder how to explain to their children why we protect some animals while eating others for food. Consumers might start questioning whether buying a zoo ticket or visiting a marine park is an ethical decision. People working in industries like agriculture, science, and law may soon find their careers affected by new policies on animal rights. Would it still be legal to breed and sell animals for profit, if they were considered legal persons? Could companies face lawsuits for harming animals in the production of food, cosmetics, or medicine? Zoos and aquariums could also face an uncertain future as public pressure grows to change the way we interact with animals. Would recognizing animal rights mean the end of traditional zoos, or could it lead to better, more ethical wildlife sanctuaries? Many experts believe that rather than eliminating industries that involve animals, the focus should be on reforming them. If animals were given legal rights, it might force companies to improve conditions in farms, labs, and conservation programs. Lab-grown meat and plant-based alternatives could replace traditional livestock farming, reducing the ethical concerns around food production. Some have even drawn comparisons between animal rights and the future rights of artificial intelligence. If we eventually recognize the legal personhood of intelligent machines, should we not first do the same for highly sentient animals? At the heart of this debate lies a fundamental question. What does it mean to be a person, and who gets to decide? For centuries, legal personhood was reserved for certain groups of people while excluding others. Women, enslaved individuals, and indigenous peoples were once denied legal recognition, yet today we see those past injustices as unacceptable. Is our current treatment of animals just another stage in this ongoing moral evolution? Or is the idea of animal personhood simply a step too far, creating legal confusion and unintended consequences? Some argue that instead of granting animals rights, we should focus on strengthening existing animal welfare laws. Strict anti-cruelty laws could provide better protection without redefining animals as legal persons. Others believe that legal personhood is the only way to guarantee that animals are protected from abuse and exploitation. If history teaches us anything, it's that our definitions of justice and morality are always evolving. Perhaps future generations will look back and wonder why it took so long for us to recognize the rights of other species. Or maybe the legal push for animal personhood will remain a niche movement, never gaining widespread acceptance. Either way, this is no longer a fringe discussion. It is a legal and ethical challenge that could shape the future of human-animal relationships for decades to come. The decisions we make today will determine whether we continue to see animals as property or begin to recognize them as something more. Are we prepared to redefine what it means to be a person? And if so, where do we draw the line?